Hello and welcome to the Week 2 review of Everybody Has a Price Fantasy Football League. Are you doing gang signals over there? What was all that?
I'm in a fantasy football league?
I don't know what you were doing. Anyway. So let's talk about the dominance of Tom, Dak, and Krabby over the commish, Eisenhart.
Thank God. Yes, Tom Brady. I think it's interesting if you really wanted to toot your own horn. You did this and you didn't even have a guy score a point.
Yeah.
You had one guy not score a point, I should say.
Yep. Nelson got hurt in the first series almost or something there. Yeah.
And you still lit him up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, I had big outputs from a lot of different people there. You can kind of see all that.
Crabtree, your boy.
Yep.
He's not part of the name of your team for no reason.
No, but Brady did have 42 points. He had something like 400 and some yards passing.
447.
Yep. 447 for Brady.
Are you nervous, though, about your number 2?
Well, he's questionable. Is he hurt?
No, he just doesn't look good. He's throwing picks all over the place.
Well, Denver's a weird place to play. It is. So
it's not weird. It's just elevated.
Well, it's a hard place to play. Is that better? So we'll just take that with a grain of salt. We'll move on there. I think the biggest disappointment for Eisenhart probably was Winston only coming up with 15 points against the Bears. But I think part of that was that it was the way the game laid out.
They were up so much so fast. What did you know? Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. So it wasn't even that Winston played a bad game. It was just that they didn't have a lot of passing attempts per se because they were way up.
But I mean, if you look at his name guys, I mean, Watkins 5, Fitzgerald 5, Cook 8, Jimmy Graham 1. Like, you know, it's 190 points though is 190 points.
I haven't had 30 points.
I'm sorry, 140 points. He had 140. What's that?
I had C.J. Anderson on the bench. He had 30 points.
That's horrible GMing by you.
It is. But, hey, still won by 63, so.
Congratulations to you, as you are the highest point-scoring team in the league currently.
Okay, next matchup. A whole split who guaranteed last week. Guaranteed he would not score less than 150 points. That guarantee lasted 1 week.
Correct.
As he scored 128.6 in week 2. What is up with that?
I forgot I was in this league.
He forgot he was in the league. What a cop-out answer. That's a terrible answer.
Nobody would have played Jordan Howard this week. He was questionable.
Well, he did have 0.7 points, so he did play. He tried.
He tried. He did try.
Yeah.
Again, what do you want me to say? I got a guy break a leg. I got a running back who was hurt.
Yeah, but you didn't have any other options running back-wise that would have helped you. I see that now.
If I put Jonathan Stewart in, he gets me more points than Howard, and then I would have played either Hunter Henry or one of the other receivers.
You're assuming that you would have played Hunter Henry. I find it hard to believe that your flex player would have been a tight end after the fact.
Hunter Henry's a beast.
Yeah, well,
buddy.
I don't know. I don't believe that.
Buddy.
So the Godfather, despite some fantastic quarterback play by Andy Dalton, gets the win.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes to show you how bad my team was when his quarterback scored less than one of my quarterbacks, and I still lose. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah, you're checking out in week 2. Ashlon Jeffrey, 22 points. pretty decent.
Well, yeah,
output.
he's got to score. If he's got my quarterback.
Well, no, he's going to get hurt. We're just waiting for that to happen.
You're waiting for it to happen.
Just tell me it's going to happen.
Just today now looked at the scores from Sunday.
Yeah.
In real life football.
Real life football. You didn't even know.
No, I don't care. I really don't.
Next matchup.
Yes.
Bird with a 160.92 win over KTFO with just a 113 output.
How do you only score 113 points?
Well, Tyrod Taylor was in a game where there was 12 total points scored. Let's start with that. Apparently, Carolina beat them 9-3.
Thank God that game wasn't on TV.
Yeah. Cooper only had 7 points for him.
No, because apparently all he throws to is Crabtree.
Mm-hmm. Murray, 3.8 as a running back. That's not going to do you any good. I mean, even Gronk had 23 for him. So like 1/4 of his output.
So let's look at this. So again, we talked about this in the preseason. He had a choice of Derek Carr over either Amari Cooper or DeMarco Murray.
What? He had a choice of Derek Carr over those two. What do you mean?
For a keeper.
Oh, for a keeper. I'm sorry. I thought you meant for making a lineup. I was like, what are we talking about?
And I just feel like that's going to be the decision that's going to bite him in the butt all season. And I think that that's going to be the reason that Bird actually can win some matchups is Derek Carr. I think Bird it looks like his guys are, if they can continue to do this, you score, like I said, you score 150 to 160, you got a chance to win every week. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. But if you score 113, you're not going to win. So that's a rough week for KTFO.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now I guess we should talk a little bit about the winning team there. We kind of just attacked. Even though he had Newton at quarterback, Carr had 27 points. That's a pretty good output, but he played the Jets, so I guess that's sort of a given. Jones 15, Hopkins 14. Those are, at least solid totals.
Right.
Gordon 20 points out of the running back position for him.
I said he had solid contributions from his young guys. The problem with Team Bird is because the guys are young, are they going to be consistent all year?
Yeah.
That's the thing, consistency.
Yeah. All right, the next matchup, Elson with the 155 to 105 win over Bolts.
105 is O is a letter of the alphabet. Just throwing that out there. Bolts is in trouble.
Wait. Can I interrupt you? When we're watching an NBA game, do they say, oh, the score is 107 to 105? No, they don't. They say it's 107, 105. That's how they would say that. Would they not?
Okay, but...
I win, you lose, shut up.
Rebuttal question. Does that still make it right? Because I'm pretty sure for like 100 years they used to say the earth was flat.
Oh my god.
Does that make it right?
This guy's the worst analogy guy ever. Goodness gracious.
Just because they say 106 to 104, does that mean it's right?
That's
because they say it on TV, that makes it right.
Yeah.
Trump's on TV a lot. Is he right? How do you like that? How do you like that, Godfather? How'd you like that one?
Yeah. Your comparisons are awful.
No, it's true. You didn't answer my question. Does that make it right just because they say it on TV?
It's sports etiquette, yes.
That's sports etiquette.
Sports etiquette. That is how you say it, yes.
So we like to sound like morons is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, that makes me sound like a moron when I say 105. I don't...
It sounds like you're giving me a combination or a code to something.
Yeah. So anyway, Elson with a 155-105 win over Bolts.
Bolts is terrible.
Yeah, Elson got 21 out of Palmer. That's actually interesting.
That's good for him.
I know.
Again, I still think Elson, you're in trouble with Wilson and Palmer not... one of those two not stepping up to be a number one guy. You got to have a number one QB.
That's true, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking over. Bolts is in trouble, isn't he? Boy, there's nobody here. I mean, unless Cousins and Mariota figure it out. I mean, they have a chance.
He has no legitimate starting running back.
Not really, no.
No, he doesn't. He has no legitimate starting running back, so he's in trouble. Mm-hmm. And Mariota is not doing what everyone thought that the Tennessee Titans were going to do with him.
It's true.
It's early. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's early.
It is.
It's what, week 2?
Yeah, there's only been 2 weeks so far.
I don't know.
2 weeks.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't care either.
Yeah.
Go Flyers.
Yeah. So, Yeah, 155, 105. Elson wins. Bolts is not good, though, so
No.
we'll have to move on with that. The last match.
And again, keeping on the same churn from last week, you have a guy score 150 points, and he's a loser.
That is correct. Steel Curtain scores 150.
Fourth highest total of the week.
And Joe Pa with a 168.
And he gets a loss.
Yeah.
It's a crime.
Oh, it's a crime.
It's a
crime.
It's a crime. You're the fourth highest scoring player this week.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tried to explain to you that there will be times that it equals out in the end. There will be a week where you'll score 135 and get a win.
Correct, and I'll say that you shouldn't.
That's how these things work, man.
Correct, that's why fantasy football's stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing about baseball.
No, it isn't.
There'll be a week where you hit 4 home runs and win if the other guy only hit 3 home runs for the whole week.
Correct, but I'll give you the bench champion / Godfather argument. But during that whole week, you had a chance to make changes to your lineup to do something about it.
I know. I understand.
You can make changes. To compare fantasy baseball to fantasy football, I think, is a horrible way to go. Because you have so many different things you can do in fantasy baseball on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Fantasy football, it happens once, and that's the score you're stuck with.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I mean, it kind of just boils down to...
So, for example, as you brought up in our last video, I'm getting smoked because I didn't play anybody on Monday's matchups. So if this was fantasy football, my matchup's over. I just lost.
Well, yes, but that would never happen. It's
correct.
Completely different.
Correct. But yet you want to use it as a comparison.
Yeah, well, still fantasy sports.
Joe Pa.
Yeah, Joe Pa. 168 to 150 win over Steel Curtain.
I'm going to tell you this, and people need to pay attention to this. He's playing the defensive churning game, and he is doing very well at it. Mm-hmm. 2 different defenses, 2 different weeks, and he's gotten big points from them.
That will work for you the first half of the season. Eventually, all the good defenses are going to be gone. That's just how it works. So you're not going to be able to just, cherry pick the best one each week. Although I will say, from the highlights that I saw, Tampa Bay's defense looked a lot better than anybody thought it would be. So,
played Chicago against Mike Glennon.
Still,
he can't throw an out route. You understand that, right? He has.
Why is he an NFL quarterback if he can't throw an out route? I don't believe that.
Why is
Maybe he can't do it consistently.
Can you give me a definition of what you mean by when you say why is he an NFL quarterback?
No, he's an NFL starting quarterback. At that. Huh? He's an NFL starting quarterback at that. I can't believe he's that bad.
Tanking. It's called tanking.
Oh, it's called tanking now. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I got it.
Why would you sign a guy to a 3-year contract where you can cut him after 1 year if he wasn't that good?
I don't think football's the right sport to be tanking in. That's just stupid. Unless you can get a bunch of picks, like trade for picks and have multiple.
Well, and that's the problem with tanking for Chicago is they traded picks to trade up to get the guy that they wanted.
Yeah. Which
was, again, another stupidity.
Yeah. So, I mean, any other thing on there as far as, let's see, Joe Pa, he had 24 points out of Freeman. That was a good output. And then we did talk about the 21 from Tampa. He had a lot of solid guys, I guess. Nothing there to write home about. I mean, Rodgers had 26. On the flip side, Steel Curtain probably would have liked more than 2 out of Benjamin. That was probably the biggest problem that he had. And Montgomery had 29 for Steel Curtain. So, I mean, he had a couple of guys that scored some serious
Montgomery
points.
got some points, which is amazing considering that he doesn't really run a lot, but he does a little bit of everything. So
yeah, you would think that Steel Curtain would have won this matchup just.
Well, yes, when you score 150 points, you should win your matchup.
Okay, well,
or when you score the 4th highest total.
I believe there'll be a lot of weeks where teams will score 150 and lose. I think you're giving 150 a little too much credit. I think 150 is just slightly above average, which means not necessarily a winning total. Were there any big pickups or anything that you see that you'd want to talk about?
Nope.
No? Nothing at all?
Well, I mean, if you want to call the Godfather dropping a guy that scored 21 points this week, I mean, I guess that's kind of big.
Who is that?
That would have been Javarius Buck Allen for the Ravens, as he picked up a kicker to replace his guy that scored 21 points.
Wow. All right.
And he also cut former Eagle Jordan Matthews.
All right. Well, do you want to come back with the power rankings?
Do I have to come back?
You don't have to.
No.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to do the power rankings or not?
Well, we have to do the power.
Oh, we have to? Okay.
Well, I mean, you do.
I do. Power rankings. Okay, we are back with the power rankings.
Yeah.
And number 6. Who is your number 6 team?
Me.
A whole split he has at number 6, even though there is an 0-2 record there.
Yes, I am 0-2 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also the 4th highest scoring team in the league. Which is why I hate fantasy football.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Stupid.
Yeah. It's actually the 5th highest scoring.
5th. Sorry,
Fifth.
5th.
But yes, I actually have Eisenhart at the number 6 slot.
Wow.
Yes, I had him.
Second place in his division?
Well, I had him at number 6 last week. I remember that because I did get some flack from the commissioner.
He texted you?
He texted me and said, "How can you have me at number 6?" He's like, "You're penalizing me for having my backup quarterback." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Yeah, I mean, he still only scored 140 points last week. So that's not good enough. Got to be better. So I'm keeping him at number 6. So who is your number 5?
My number 5 is Elson.
Elson. That's a good pick.
I know. I made it. It was my pick. I still think he has a couple things that need fixed. I think he still needs to address who his number 1 quarterback is. Like I said, I think the 2 guys he has are great number 2 quarterbacks to play in matchups. But you need to get that number 1 quarterback. Hint, hint, I'll make a trade. But yeah.
Yeah, my number 5 is also Elson.
Copycat.
So, I've got Elson at number 5. A lot of what you said, I agree with.
Get used to that, by the way.
But yeah, I think Elson will be okay. He's my number 5.
Number 4 for me is Eisenhart.
That's all you're gonna say. I kind of already gave my spiel.
That's
on
all
Eisen.
I have
That's
to say about
you got. My number 4 is a whole split.
Wow, you only dropped me 1 spot from
Only
last
dropping
week.
1 spot. Even though you're 0-2.
I am 0-2.
You still scored 280 points, and let me put it to you this way. I got to look on paper how good the team is, not how bad the GM is. You know what I mean?
Thank
and
you.
right now the GM is doing a terrible job because he doesn't care. But I don't want to really put that into my power rankings yet. I got to wait. And I can see on paper that they should be better than what they are. So I still have a whole split at number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 3. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yep. Number 3 is Bird, and that is my number 3 as well.
Copycat again.
Well, it's kind of a given at this point, but
again, if his young guys are going to keep producing consistently, I think he'll be a force.
I think the one issue that we have to wait with him is that he's had back-to-back really big defensive weeks out of the Ravens, and they played 2 crappy teams. The way it looks, offensive teams.
He's also in trouble if Cam Newton is his quarterback.
Yeah,
I think Cam Newton's going to cost him some matchups.
It's very possible. It's very possible. So yes, Bird at number 3. Who is your number 2?
Joe Pa!
Joe Pa!
By the way, we already know who Joe Pa's successor is. It's
I know. I don't know.
Franklin. So
I don't know why.
I don't get it anymore. We know
year,
who it is.
Every year I tell him to change the name, and he doesn't do it.
It's not going to be you. You're not going to be Joe Pa's successor. It's going to be Franklin, unless he does something really, really
First of all,
stupid.
that is incorrect. That is incorrect. Franklin was not Joe Pa's successor.
No. He's the one that's going to stay
Oh, okay.
to finally be the answer to who is Joe
He'll
Pa's
stay
successor.
until the NFL money comes coming. You wait.
No.
Yeah, you don't think there's a chance of that?
Or until the next scandal that they're hiding there.
Well, yeah, that's always a possibility. But yeah, all right.
So your number 2 is going to be you?
My number 2 is me. I'm still holding out. I mean, the point differential is only 9 points between number 1 and me. So I'm going to stay at number 2. I still think that Joe Pa's successor is a little bit better than me.
I gave you the slight edge, and this is going to make some people laugh, is because, again, I discredit Joe Pa's successor for his GMing in week 1. by not having Fournette in his starting lineup in week 1 just baffles me. It seems like that's going to be his flex guy now, which is where he should have been. But yes, I have you as number 1. And I think your team's loaded. I mean, you got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's 40 to 50 points every week.
Well,
from one guy.
A chance of 40 or 50 points. He didn't have 40 or 50 the first week. But,
correct. They also got shellacked playing Kansas City, but
and Hunt as the running back has been pretty good, hasn't he?
It's going to be interesting. If this guy's legit all season, I mean, you have number 1 the rookie of the year and possibly the greatest college pick in the history of the league, potentially. Yeah. So we all know what that means.
Right.
He's going to break his leg in week 4.
He's going to break his leg.
Over under week 4 is the prop bets.
But yeah, and then also
You're number 1.
My wide receivers are pretty strong too there.
They're consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of flack for the guys that you have, but I mean it's very obvious even if you're not a Raiders fan that Derek Carr only throws to Crabtree when they're in the red zone. I mean that is his only option. So for you Amari Cooper lover fans out there, I mean he's going to get receptions between the 20s, but
yeah. And then I've got Joe Pa's successor still at number 1. I still love Rodgers to Stafford in the long run. I think those two guys going all season long.
Yeah, I agree. I eventually could see him overtaking you, but I don't see. Here's the difference though. I don't see Rodgers or Stafford. Can they put up a 40-point? Can they put up a 40-point week?
Well, Rodgers can.
Yes. But we'll see how bad the injury to Nelson is. But on a consistent week-to-week basis, I'm still going to go Tom Brady because that's all they're going to do.
Yeah, that's true. You're not going to run the ball, is what you're saying, right?
Correct.
But I mean, he still has McCoy and Freeman in at the running backs. I mean, he's got solid running backs.
I'm waiting for again.
And Fournette. I mean, that's...
Well, yes, now that he's playing. Again, I'm still waiting on the Buffalo situation. I don't understand, what did McCoy have last week?
What did McCoy have last week? I got to go back to week 2.
Yes, to week 2.
Week 2, there, 10 points.
10 points, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand why teams don't just say, hey, Tyrod Taylor, you beat me.
Right.
We're going to load the box up. McCoy's not going to run on us. I want Tyrod Taylor to beat me. I mean,
I do think Carolina's defense is pretty decent, though. So we'll have to wait and see.
It is, but their offense is bad, too.
No, I know. I'm just saying that in this matchup of Taylor versus Carolina, it's not a strong matchup for him.
I don't think he's going to have many strong matchups, except for when they play the Jets, and they already played them once.
Well, they do get to play them again, don't they?
One more time.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess that's the end of this, right?
Thank God.
Boy, you really hate doing this, don't you?
How many more weeks of this do we have?
Well, there's a bye week in between, so I guess there's 15, and then there's 2 weeks of playoffs, right? No, that's not true, because the playoffs wouldn't be. The playoffs would actually be week 16 and week 17, right?
Just week 16.
Just week 16 for the okay.
He doesn't even know this stuff.
I don't
This is
even
what
know.
I'm dealing
Look,
with.
you're throwing stuff.
This is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah, it's hard.